Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Today, we're going to walk through how to build a clean, modern, fully functional print-on-demand store using Hostinger's AI web builder and Printful. Now, recently, I've made a few videos about print-on-demand and AI tools, and a lot of you have been asking me the same question. Steven, what is the easiest way to actually build a store? Now, when most people think about starting an online e-commerce business, they immediately make it more complicated than it actually needs to be. They start thinking about coding, hiring a web designer, paying for expensive softwares, and trying to figure out how to connect a million different tools before they even make their first sale. But that's exactly why print on demand is so powerful. With Printful, you don't have to buy inventory up front. And when you combine that with Hostinger's AI web builder, it becomes even easier because Hostinger helps you build the actual website, while Printful will handle the production creation, the printing, and fulfillment side of your business. By the end of this video, you'll be able to launch a fully functional print-on-demand store in minutes without any technical skill, while also keeping control of your brand, your pricing, your customer data, and your marketing strategy. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Right now, we are on www.hostinger. Now, this will be the Hostinger landing page that allows you to launch a fully functional SEO optimized print-on-demand store in just a few minutes. So instead of having to code or design everything from scratch or trying to figure out how to connect a bunch of different tools, you can literally describe what you want and the AI helps bring this to life. And this AI tool is Hostinger's Horizions. There is no coding, it's just chatting, and I'll show you exactly how that works in just a moment. Another major benefit is that you keep 100% of your sales with 0% transaction fees. Hostinger also supports over 100 payment methods with secure checkout, so your customers have multiple ways to make a payment. You can also ship worldwide with access to over 40 carriers, all managed from one dashboard. So the big idea here is simplicity. You don't need to juggle multiple platforms just to get your store running. You can manage the website, your products, the payment methods, and fulfillment processing all in one single place. Now, to begin, I would recommend choosing one of the 12-month plans because it gives you enough time to build a store, test your products, learn this platform, and actually start marketing without feeling rushed. The most popular plan is the starter, and that's exactly the one that I'll be using here today for our example. Now, the starter plan includes 70 AI credits per month. AI credits will be used when you generate a new website or make changes by chatting with the AI. Every message that's sent costs 1 credit. The starter plan also includes top-up AI credits that allow you to buy extra credits at any time without upgrading to a higher plan. Hostinger also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee for Hostinger's Horizions plans, as long as you have an account that's used fewer than 30 credits. Once you select the plan, you'll be brought to the checkout page, and this is where you can apply the discount code Steven Smith, and you can get an additional 10% off as long as you've established a brand new account. After that, just proceed through the checkout. Create your account, and then you'll be taken into the website setup flow. That's where we can start building the actual print-on-demand store using Hostinger's Horizions AI website builder. Once you log into Hostinger, you will land on your main dashboard. This is where you'll be able to manage your websites, domains, hostings, and all of your tools. From the dashboard, you want to go to the website section. You should see this on the left-hand side. It'll be right underneath the home tab. And as you can see, I'm already hovering over Horizions. Once you click on that, you can then choose the option here on screen that says get started. You'll then be brought to the page that will say, what do you want to create? You'll now be asked to describe what kind of website that you want to make. Now, this part is extremely important because your prompt will tell the AI what type of site to build, what style you want, and what features should be included. Now, you could type something basic like build me a clothing store, but that's not enough detail. If you give the AI a simple prompt, don't be shocked when it gives you a basic looking website. Instead, you want to be specific. For example, you could write something like this: create an online print on demand store called Steven's 850 Apparel that sells motivational and fashion products, including t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. The website should have a clean, modern, premium aesthetic with a soft earth tone color palette using beige, white, cream, taupe, and black. The overall design should feel calm, stylish, and easy to shop, similar to brands like Zara or H&M, but with a more warm and minimal lifestyle feel. Now that was part of a prompt that I created. I'm going to put a link down in the description if you would like to use this prompt as well. Of course, you would take out all the other parts about the Stevens 850 apparel, but you can put whatever brand name that you would like. Now, I'm not going to read the entire prompt. It is very long, but the reason this works is because you're giving the AI direction. You're telling it that this is a print-on-demand store, which signals that you need e-commerce features. You're telling it the style, which helps avoid random colors and a messy layout. It also helps the site feel premium and a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And you're also telling it the sections and what you want included, which can save you time later and also save you some AI credits. If you don't have a real brand name yet, then that's okay. We can always put something as a placeholder. You can always change this later on. All right, so we went ahead and submitted our prompt, and after it finishes, you'll see a live preview. When that happens, you'll be able to scroll through the home page, click around, and you'll be able to see what the AI has created. Now, the photos might not be perfect, and that's completely fine. We can replace those later. What we care about now is the overall layout, the structure, and the style. And if you don't like the first version, you can always regenerate this with a different prompt. But if the layout is close enough, go ahead and continue once the preview has been created. And just like that, our store has been built. So as you can see, it's Stevens 850 apparel, premium motivational fashion for those who dream big and work hard. Wear your purpose with pride. And it also has a shop this collection option. It has the featured collection, which has everyday basics, cozy hoodies, signature hats. Of course, that's a t-shirt, right? But we can always change this option. Premium tees, bestsellers, and it is a very clean layout. I would say this AI has done a phenomenal job with bringing my prompt to life. It's exactly what I wanted. We also have a footer at the bottom, and I think that everything here is exactly what I need. Now, let's say that for whatever reason, I wanted to make any changes. I can go up to the very top here and click on this option that says edit content. Now, I'll be able to make basic changes like the name or anything else like that. Anything that's really in these boxes, you can alter any way that you would see fit. You can also click on the hero section and you can upload new images to change this background if I didn't want this, but maybe wanted something of myself or a friend or anything like that, or even something about my clothing. Now, let's say I wanted to change this option right here that says signature hats complete your look. I would then go here to the chat option and I would type in exactly what I want to change. So I'm going to type in here, change signature hat to 850 hat. Just something random. And then the AI will go ahead and it's going to work on this and make these changes. Now, that was a very, very simple option to actually change. I would highly recommend if you're going to do this, you want to be very specific, like the tip that it shows here. Don't say things like, I don't like this, or make it different. You have to say exactly what you need. And once this is done, it will use one of my credits that I had. Remember, originally I had 70 credits altogether, but I did make a few prompt changes, so I should have around maybe 67 or 66 left now. Now that we understand Horizions, let's connect Printful so we can actually add print-on-demand products. So the first thing that we want to do is scroll to the very top and click on My Store. This will bring us back to the Hostinger dashboard, and then we're going to want to click on integrations here at the bottom. You should already see an option here that says create and sell custom products Printful, and then you'll want to click on get started. Now, if you already have a Printful account and you're logged in, Hostinger should detect it and allow you to connect it. That's exactly what's happening here for me. If you don't have a Printful account yet, you can create one during the setup process. So now I'm going to accept and give access to Printful. Now you may be asked to accept terms and conditions, maybe answer a few setup questions, and of course authorize that connection between Printful and your Hostinger store. And once that's done, you'll return. It'll look just like this, and you'll now see that Printful appears under your integrations. Now this is where the business starts to feel real, because now your website and your fulfillment provider are connected. So that means when you create products in Printful and you sync them to Hostinger, they should show up in your store. So now inside Printful integration, we're going to click here on create a product. Now this took us into Printful's catalog where we can look at all types of products that we want to make. For today, I'm going to keep it very simple. Let's just look for a basic t-shirt. Now from here, they have a lot of cool things that you can choose to sell. Printful has categories like men clothing, like women clothing, accessories, home and living, hats, wall art, and a whole lot more. But again, for this example, let's just go to t-shirts and we're going to find a very simple unisex tee. And then I'm going to pick this one, the unisex organic oversized high neck blaster 2.0 t-shirt, Stanley and Stella. It has 8 reviews, but it's 5 stars and it's Printful suggested, so let's go ahead and use this. On the product page, you'll see sample images, available colors, size options, a model photo, the base price, and you definitely want to pay attention to this here because that base price will affect your profit margin. Now, if you look at the colors and there's a line through it, that would normally mean that color is not available. Now, all the options are available here, which is good. Now, you only want to select colors that actually, 1, are available, but 2, they fit your brand. And once you're ready, you can click on Start Designing. Now, of course, the store you're going to choose should be your Hostinger store, so make sure that you're selecting the right one if you have multiple stores. Now, Printful will ask you to choose a printing method, and that will depend greatly on your product. You'll see many options like direct-to-garment printing or embroidery. Embroidery can feel more premium, especially for hats, polos, or simple logos, but printing gives you more flexibility with colors and detailed designs. For this example, let's just use printing. Next, you want to choose your product colors. Now, only colors that you check will appear in your store, so do not select every single color just because you can. If your brand has a clean, minimalistic look, choose colors that actually match the aesthetic, like black, white, gray, beige, navy, or maybe an earth tone color. Then you want to select your sizes. Now, for apparel, you probably want to offer a decent range of sizes. That way customers have many options. So in this case, I would probably pick small to the 2XL just so that people have options to choose from. And now it's time to add our design. So if you already have artwork, then you can upload it to Printful's library and you can place it on a t-shirt. Just make sure that you're using designs that you have the rights to actually use. Now, I used a design that I already had on hand. If you don't have a design ready, you can choose Printful's built-in text box or the clip art option like I have right here, and you can choose a font combination or an image and you can move it around until you actually like the design. For a minimalist store, I would keep the design very simple, like a small chest logo. Same thing I did here. You can even use a clean phrase or a simple graphic or a premium looking design. All of that usually works very well. You can also add designs to other print areas like the back, the neck, the sleeves. It all depends on the product. Just remember that every additional print area, it can increase the production cost, which can affect your profit margins. Once your design looks good, you can click on Publish. After your design is finished, Printful will ask you to choose a mockup. Now, these are the product images that customers will see in your store, and this matters a lot. Your mockups can make your products look premium, they can look cheap, modern, outdated, clean, or even messy. So choose a mockup style that matches your brand. If your website has a calm, minimalistic look, pick a mockup with a clean background and a simple styling. You don't want your website to look premium and then your products to look basic. Once you choose a mockup set, you can then click continue. After that, you'll be brought to a section here that gives you your product title, your description, your pricing options, and you can edit all of this. Now, if you want, you have the option to edit this on Printful. You can also edit this in Hostinger. It's your choice. So now I'm going to change this to $8.50 unisex organic oversized high neck t-shirt. And then I'm going to publish. All right, we're going to give this a few seconds to sync. Once this sync is complete, we can go back to the Hostinger store dashboard. That way we'll confirm this product has been added. So currently I'm back in my Hostinger product store manager. I'm going to click on products, and now I can see that my shirt has been added. So let's go ahead and click on the t-shirt here. Inside of the product editor, you can clean up your title, your subtitle, your description, your pricing, or any other related product settings. You'll also see this option at the top, which will allow you to generate details with AI. You can use this for a starting point, but don't just copy and paste whatever it gives you without editing this. AI descriptions can be helpful, but they often sound generic, and it's better when you actually add your own personality to it. So I went ahead and just clicked on generate product details. That way it'll give you an idea of what this would look like. For the title, you want to keep it very clear. Something like classic minimal tee or everyday essential tee, that works better than confusing names that no one will understand. For the subtitle, you can add a short phrase that makes the product sound more appealing. For example, you could write a soft everyday tee with a clean retro-inspired design. The ribbon section is where you can add tags like new arrival, bestseller, limited edition, or even on sale. Now, this can help draw attention to specific products, and for your description, you want to focus on what the customer actually cares about. You can also add extra information sections for things like material, sizing, care instructions, and shipping information. These details help reduce confusion and can improve the customer experience. Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see your color and size options. That came from Printful, so if anything looks wrong, you'll normally have to go to Printful to fix that. Next, you want to review the pricing. This is where you decide your profit margins. Now, your product cost comes from Printful, your selling price is what the customer pays, and the difference between those two numbers is your gross margin before other expenses. Do not price your products so low that you can barely make anything, but at the same time, don't price them so high that customers feel like they need a small business loan to buy a t-shirt. You can also add a sales price. So for example, if the regular price is $29.99 and the sales price is $24.99, the store can show that discount to customers. If you use a sales price, you can actually add a ribbon that says on sale. And before we keep building out this store, I just want to mention once again, if you want to check out Horizions for yourself, I put a direct link in the description, and you can also use my coupon code Steven Smith for an additional 10% off, but it only works with new accounts. Now let's get back to building. Now let's handle the behind the scenes setup. We want to go to the store section, and then we want to open your settings right here. And then we're going to look for payments. This is where you're going to connect your payment processor. That way customers can actually buy from your store. Depending on where you live, your available options may vary. In many cases, you'll see options like Stripe or PayPal. Stripe is usually a strong option in the US because it supports many common payment methods and also gives customers a secure checkout experience. To connect your payment method, simply click on Connect and either create a new account or log into an existing one. You want to fill out all the required details, allow it to sync with your store, and once your account is approved, your store will be able to accept payments. Now that payments are set up, let's go down to shipping right here. Then you'll want to click on Create Zone, and then you'll want to name your zone. So for this example, let's just use US shipping, and that's going to be what this zone is called. Then you want to choose your country and then select the states or the regions that you would like to include, and then you would save this shipping zone. And just for another example, you can create multiple zones. Like I can have worldwide, right? And then I'm just going to go to add country and then select all, and then I'll actually save that zone. Then you'll want to click on the three dots right here. You'll click on edit, and then you can choose how much you would want the shipping rate to be. So let's say for worldwide shipping, I want it to be $25. I would then add that rate, and then I would click on add. Now these shipping details have been saved. But again, you're able to create multiple shipping zones depending on where you want to sell. For example, you can make the one for the US, you can make one for Canada, you can also make one for worldwide or international shipping. The nice thing about using Printful is that fulfillment is not handled by you, which does make setup more manageable for beginners who don't want to deal with fulfillment manually. Just make sure your shipping settings match your actual cost and delivery expectations. Now, let's talk about the checkout policies inside of your store settings. So the first thing we're going to do is look for checkout. And then this section will be where you can add links for your privacy policy and other important pages. I recommend displaying policy links during checkout because it helps build trust. Customers want to know how returns work, how shipping works, and what happens with their data. They also want to know how to contact you if there's any other issues. So let's say we wanted to create a policy page. We can click on add, and then we can click on save. Now to create a policy page, we have to exit your store settings, and then we're going to go to pages. Now to add the policy page is actually very simple. All I did was go back into Horizions, and then I asked the AI to please add a policy page. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can actually find the policy page here in the footer. And now all of our policies are here: shipping policy, return and refunds, privacy, contact information, terms of service, and if you want to change any of these details, then you can do so by chatting with the AI. Now, with that said, once your products, your categories, your homepage, your payment settings, your shipping settings, and your policies are all ready, it is time to publish. So we can go to the top right up here and we're going to click on publish, and Hostinger may ask you if you want to publish with a temporary domain or if it's a domain name that you want to connect. And this is the option that I was talking about. So when you're testing, it's perfectly fine to use the temporary domain. However, once you're ready to launch, you can connect a custom domain to your store. After publishing, you can open your live site and look at it the way a customer would. You can click through the home page, you can test the menus, you can open product pages, you can review product images, check your descriptions, make sure all the buttons work, look at it on your mobile phone, and to see if your payment processor is connected. You can go and even test out the checkout flow. I would say it is best to catch any small issues before a customer does. Now that your store is live, I don't want you to make the same mistakes that a lot of beginners do. They build a store, they publish it, they look at the screen, and they wonder why nobody is buying. The website is not the business by itself. The website is the storefront. You still need traffic, you still need attention, and you still need a reason for people to care. If I was launching this product to my audience, I would not just post one random link and say, hey, buy my shirt. That's not a launch strategy. What I would do instead is build some type of anticipation before the product goes live. So for example, I would start talking about the idea behind the brand. I would show the design process. I would post behind the scenes clips of me creating the store, choosing the products, picking the colors, and building the page. That way, by the time the products are available, people have a connection with your story. They saw the idea go from concept to store, and now they feel like they're a part of your launch. If you already have an audience on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, emails, you can launch your products directly to those people. You can make a video explaining the meaning behind the product. You can also show yourself wearing it. You can talk about what you created. Then you can direct people to links in your bio, your description, or your pinned comments. For example, if I was launching a motivational clothing brand, I could make content around discipline, building wealth, self-improvement, entrepreneurship, or even personal growth, and then naturally introduce the apparel as part of my message. That is more powerful than just saying, here's a shirt, please buy it, because people do not buy products. Most of the time, they buy identity, emotion, and the story behind your brand. And that's how you build a minimalist print-on-demand store using Hostinger's AI website builder and Printful. Now, the biggest takeaway is that you don't need to overcomplicate this process, and you don't need to spend months trying to make everything look perfect. You can start with a simple brand idea. You can use AI to generate the store, connect Printful, create products, organize your categories, set up payments and shipping, and publish the website. From that point, the real work becomes marketing, because remember, building the store is step one. Getting people to visit the store and buying from you is the very next step. That's where content, ads, influencer marketing, email marketing, and organic traffic come in, but the foundation starts here. So if you've been sitting on a design idea, a clothing concept, maybe a wall art brand or a niche product store, or even just a business idea that you want to test, this is one of the simplest ways to get started. And once again, if you want to check out Hostinger, I did put a link down in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below letting me know what kind of print-on-demand store that you're going to build today. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.